So today what we're going to talk about is how to graph linear inequalities. You graph them the same way you do an equation in slope-intercept form. You plot your y-intercept, you use your slope. It's crazy. But we have to talk about what happens because it's an inequality. So it's when you have an x and a y and then a greater than or less than sign. Now we solved these before. And remember when we just had an x or a y or an a or a b. And we used an open or closed circle. When did we use an open circle?
Oh, when the line, when it was less than or greater than.
When it was less than or greater than, take a point. When did we use a closed circle? Ashlyn?
Whenever it was less than or equal to greater than.
Good, take a point. Now, what else did we do whenever we graphed an inequality? Jack?
For the greater than or equal to or less than or equal to, you have to put a line under the, what was it called?
But what did we do when we finished working it out?
I'm not figuring about that. That was the first thing.
You connect the dot.
No, kind of. But when we plotted it on a number line, what's the last thing we did? We shaded. Do you guys remember? We either shaded to the right if it was greater than, or we shaded to the left if it was less than. So you're going to...
Oh, we did.
Yes.
Oh, really? Oh, really, Avery? That's a good example.
If I said that x was greater than 4, I put it on a number line, and Hufflepuff is going to stop talking or lose 5 points. Do you understand me? And then you put a 4 here. Am I going to use an open or a closed circle? An open. Now, what numbers are greater? Okay, tell me, Connor. Thank you. So do I shade to the right or to the left?
Right.
And we draw an arrow that way.
Oh, I thought you meant like shade.
Yeah, I thought you were like shading with the arrow.
Draw a line. Okay, that sounds more
Okay.
professional.
I don't like it. So you do the same thing here. You have to shade, but we don't do an open or closed circle. We do a solid or a dashed line. So you're going to use a solid line when it's greater than or equal to or less than or equal to. You're going to do a dashed line when it's greater than or less than. And what I mean by a solid line is a line that's solid. What I mean by a dashed line is a line that's dashed. Look at that. And it even gives you an example around the box. Did you notice that it's a dashed line around the box? Now, shade above or shade below. You shade above when it's greater than or equal to. And do you notice that it's above the inequality sign? Or you shade below when it's less than or equal to, and it's below it. Now, what I mean by shade above is you shade above the line. What I mean by shade below is you shade below the line. You actually shade, so we're going to need a colored pencil. So we want to go ahead and rummage around and make as much noise as possible and get that. Don't make as much noise as possible. I was being sarcastic. Mason, I said don't make as much noise as possible. I was being sarcastic. That's not a color pencil showing. Why are you doing it? Alright, so now that we have our colored pencils, we have to talk about what we do to be able to graph these. Now, please pay attention, calm down. All we did was get colored pencils and markers. That's it. Yes. So what we need to do is we need to... You know what we're going to do from now on? Whatever marker the marker box person hands you, that's the one you use, and you don't complain. Does everyone understand? This is ridiculous.
Don't complain about people.
Yellow because you're
Now, You have to put it in slope-intercept form, which means your first step every time is to solve for y. So you're still going to need to know how to do this. That's why we practice over and over and over and over and over and over and over. I don't like you. We're not friends anymore, Jahir. We used to be. Alright, then, plot y-intercept and use the slope.
So we're going to have to use the same thing that we've been doing.
Over and over and over. And then you either do a solid or dashed line. And what do you think the last thing we're going to do is? Shade. Take a point.
There's no way they have that many points. Wait, did you guys say you need another sheet for your points?
Needs a number strip.
Oh.
Alright, now, whenever we solved on inequalities, what did we have to watch out for that changed our problem? When did we flip it?
When it's negative. When you divide by negative or multiply.
When you multiply or divide by a negative. Good, take a point if you answered.
Okay, I answered.
Watch out for negatives.
Why don't we like these?
We do like them, they just flip our sign. No.
The signs that says beware of dogs, but just no dogs.
See,
Watch
this is
out.
why you just gotta wait.
Steven.
Watch out for negatives.
Steven.
Give him the crown.
Stop it, yes. Did y'all do the crown yesterday, or did y'all behave enough to not need it?
Nobody said anything. Nobody told me.
We haven't signed this.
Then why did he say it took you so long to settle down?
He tripped in.
Okay, breathe. It's okay. Breathe.
Yeah, somehow he knew me. In my African.
Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to use these 4 steps to solve our first one together. We're going to do 3 together, then you're going to do 2 without me. That way we can have plenty of practice. Does everybody understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So what is our...
It's like a stereotype.
What is our first step?
Solve for y.
Okay, everybody put a box around y.
Why? Oh.
See, that's what the one will be occurring.
That is our force field, and we cannot do anything to y or the 3 until it's completely by itself. So what do we need to move first?
2x.
Okay, so let's subtract the 2x. Now, why did we subtract the 2x? Good. Okay, Connor, do you understand what we did, baby?
I thought we would have added 3
Honey, I just said that the force field around this y means we cannot touch this until it's completely by itself. Okay? So what do we have to move away from it first? You have to move the 2x. And since it's a positive 2x, you subtract it.
Well, yes.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so do we still put it like negative 2x plus 12?
Yes, I wasn't there yet.
Okay. I'll just make
Now, can we combine the 2x and the 12? So we bring down our negative on our 3y and our less than sign, and we write negative 2x plus 12. Can you please put the tape back in the tape dispenser? Because those are brand new supplies. And this is why we can't have nice things. Thank you. Now, what do we need to do from here to be able to get y by itself?
Divide by negative 3.
We're going to divide by negative 3. Now remember, we divide everything by negative 3. Everything. everything.
She said everything.
And after grading your math workshop test, some of us don't know what the word everything means or how to divide. Okay, now, did we divide by a negative?
Yeah.
So what do we need to do to our inequality sign? Flip the sign. Now, we're dividing everything by negative 3. So what is negative 2 divided by negative 3? Positive 2/3. X. Okay, now do we need to divide 12 by negative 3 or do we just write 12?
Divide by 3.
Divide by 3 and that's going to be minus 4. Is that in slope-intercept form?
Wait, so basically, the greater than or equal to sign is equals now?
Yes. I know what he means. Just,
Alright, I'm not voting.
yeah. Okay, now we've solved for y. What's step 2? Okay, now what's our y-intercept? Negative 4. And we should all be able to say that with confidence because it's y equals mx plus b. So the number in front of x is your slope. So what's our y-intercept? So do we go left 4 or down 4? Down 4 on the y-axis. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now what's our slope?
2/3.
So we go up 2, right 1, 2, 3. Up 2, right 1, 2, 3. And on this one, you can't just do 3 dots. You have to go all the way across your graph. All the way across your graph. All the way across your graph. So then I'm going to go up 2, right 3 until I can't do it anymore. And then, what am I going to do over here?
Down 2 is left 3.
Down 2.
Take a point. Down 2, left 3. Down 2, left 3. Down 2, left 1, 2, 3. Don't connect your dots yet. Don't connect your dots yet. Dotted or a dash line. Now the way you figure it out is you look back at your inequality. Does this one look like the top one or the bottom? The bottom, because it doesn't have a line under it. So it's a dash line. So you're going to take your straight edge and you're going to make a dash line.
Where my straight edge?
They're in the third drawer in the bucket. Don't get them out of someone else's tower. Get them out of your tower. Put it back. Put it back. Put it back, Lee. Alright, now, are we ready or do we need a mow? Okay, hustle up.
Look, my paper's
Oh gosh.
You can use whatever makes your heart happy. As long as it has a straight edge.
Does it always have to be straight?
We're making lines. Yes.
I know, but like in the past we have it, so I'm just asking.
What y'all use in the past?
That's like our hands.
Yeah, you start.
No, I mean just like let's say
No.
on the test.
No.
Okay.
No. Alright, now, our last step was the shade. So, we look at our inequality symbol, and this is the one that guides us every single time. Not the beginning one, the one at the end. Are we going to shade above or below based on what this looks like?
Above.
Above. So what you do is you take your colored pencil, and this is what it's going to look like. Dun 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 dun! In my class. And in Algebra 2.
Question. So how do you know?
Oh, wait, I have a question.
That's not like
Wait, Connor's asking a question, and then Aldo can ask his.
At the top, like, on the, yeah. How do you know if it's like greater than y or less than y?
Because you see how this is eating the y? That means greater than.
So like, will it ever be the other way?
Yes, baby, that's a different kind of problem.
But how do we know that? Like,
Come in there.
no, we don't know what y is. How do we know it's greater? I mean,
Okay, baby, you see how we shaded all of this region up here? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this point right here, and this point is called 0, 0, and I'm going to plug it in and prove it to you, okay? I want you to watch. So if I plug in 0, 0, that means that 0 is y, and that has to be greater than 2/3 times 0 minus 4, correct? Because all I did was plug in my coordinate right here. Now, what is 0 times 2/3? 0. And what is 0 minus 4? So, is 0 greater than negative 4? What, baby?
Yes.
We did it right. That's how you know it's greater than. Yes, honey, if I had $0, I still got more money than you at negative 4. Do you understand? Alright, Aldo, what's your question?
My question was, if it doesn't have little lines under it, you just do it on top, right?
I'm sorry?
You know the little line?
Under my inequality symbol?
Yeah.
Okay. What is the rest of your question? We figured out that part.
If it doesn't have a little line, so you just put it on top.
No. If it's greater than, you shade above.
Greater than what?
Okay. That's what we just said. That's literally what we just answered. So do you see how this says greater than? Because it's eating the y. So you shade above.
So if it's eating the y, you shade above. And if it's not, you shade
Correct.
Did that go for the original one or the?
No, look at the final one. Any other questions?
You want to hear something funny?
No. Now, let's flip it over and let's work out some more problems. We're going to call this 38B. Okay. Alright, solve and graph each inequality. So this one, please stop. I don't even know what problem I was trying to write down now. Alright, let's do 3x plus 4y is less than or equal to 12. I don't know what you just said. What, baby? We're going to do it together. I want to do one more together just to be safe. Okay. Alright, now, our first step is to solve for y. So everybody put a force field around y. Now, we have to get everything away from the y before we can divide by 4. So what are we going to do first? Subtract 3x. Alright, then we have 4y is less than or equal to. Can I combine negative 3x and 12? No. So I write negative 3x plus 12. Okay, now y is still not by itself, so what do I have to do? Divide by 4 on each side. Divide everything by 4. Everything by 4. Everything by 4. Yes, baby. On the last one, we divided by a different number because there was a different number in front of y. Okay, now the 4 in front of the y cancels and we're left with y. Do we have to flip our sign this time?
No.
No, because we did not divide by a negative 4. So negative 3 divided by 4 is?
Negative 4.
Okay, x. And then 12 divided by 4 is plus 3. Take a point. Alright, now we're going to draw our coordinate plane. I don't know if Chewbacca just died or what happened.
You got the crowd on. You can't talk.
Okay, let's do this. Stop. Collaborate and listen. Let's do this. Alright, so what do we start with whenever we graph? And what is that? Take a point.
Oh, we take a point.
I take.
1. Dom, you get a point, honey. Alright, so then what's our slope?
Is -3/4.
So what do I do?
You go down 3 and left 4 or right 4.
Right 4.
I meant right 4.
Into the... Pardon? Okay. Alright, now, am I going to use a solid line or a dashed line? Why is it a solid line? Because our notes say that when we have a line under the inequality, it's a solid line. And we're going to use a straight edge because we're capable. And we're going to make a solid line. Now, are we going to shade above or below? Below because it's less than. Because that's below the line. And if you don't believe me, take 0, 0 and plug it in. If you do, 0 times -3/4 is 0. 0 plus 3 is 3. Is 0 less than or equal to 3? Yes, it is.
So on the tab when I color like this,
You use a pencil to shade.
Pardon?
Oh, I just like you just use a pencil to shade it in.
Yep. Okay, do you want to try one without me?
Yes, ma'am.
Or do we need to do one more together? I think you can do it.
I'll be good.
Alright, B. Now, this one's going to be magical. Y is less than 1/2 x minus 5. Now, what is magical about this? Look at you guys go. Take a point. It's already in slope-intercept form. So all you have to do is what?
graph.
Fantastic. You did not answer that, Jared. I said it to the people who answered. Right, to the people who answered. That's why you don't need to be in charge of the number strip.
That's why you're not. You're not the stripper, then. Call me a stripper.
I don't even think you missed a go there, honestly.
No. Math.
Sit down with me, I would have said, I'm 10 points.
Probably. It's not how it works for that one. Oh, okay. Alright, graph this. And then you're going to have 2 problems to do on your own, and then you can work on your study guide.
How do I figure out the dotted line?
Remember, you have to figure out if it's a dotted line or a dashed line.
It is definitely
Why is it dashed, taters? Correct. And do we shade above or below? Below. You were doing so well. It's less than. You see how it's not eating the Y?
Below.
Right, baby. It's okay if we shade below 2 times in a row.
Alright. It smells like chicken grease.
It smells like what?
Chicken grease.
No. That is not what that smells
How do you
like.
know what chicken grease smells like?
Everyone knows what chicken grease smells like because most of you have parents that fry chicken.
I mean, you know, what I'm thinking is like, it smells like chicken grease. Like,
Mine did too because chicken is cheap.
I want to try candy.
haven't tried it in a long time.
Oh, I guess that's why we have chicken like a few times a week.
It's not even good fried chicken.
Coach, our coach told us it wasn't. He said that's his favorite place.
Is he white?
He's South African.
South African
Yeah,
Coach Luke.
Not African. South African.
Hey, that grilled chicken sandwich was actually
Alright, so how do I, what do I do first?
Oh, you gotta go down flat. Negative five.
And then,
Up,
One, right, two.
and then,
Up, one, right, two.
and then,
Up, one, right, two.
and if I'm out of room,
And the dash one.
And then you throw that down.
alright, solid or dash? Ah,
Doesn't matter how you dash it tomorrow. It's not as long as you tell it dash, right?
yes. So, do I shade above or below?
Catherine, what day are we taking your exam? What is it?
Yes.
So what's the study at?
She did.
The day of the exam. If you're exempt, it's due Friday. Alright, 2 problems, and then you're done for today. As long as you don't get loud. Because we're not supposed to be getting loud. No, because you just asked while we're whispering. Does it tell you to do that as the first step if it's not already in slope-intercept form?
I'm just kidding.
Come on.